Welcome everyone, it's Mad along with Goo, and today we're going to go over the second event for Dragon Quest Dai, who's good, who's not good, and the overall event itself. So stay tuned. All right, we're just going to go through each of the S characters, and I'm going since I'm a little late, I'm going to be a little bit more in depth than I normally am on this video. For the first three, as martial arts man, Pop and Die are all in here, and I will say this: if you are willing to spend money, this is by far the best deluxe banner or paid banner that we've seen, as you get to choose one of these three after doing three of them. But yes, it is very expensive. So this highly benefits spenders. I will be doing this, but on top of it, the unit that you're going to want is Dragon Knight Dai. He is by far the best of the three here. Uh, Top five according to JP. I consider him sixth, but still a very, very good unit. Overall, not really much to complain against, but if you do not have solo, you know, and you're just we're kind of waiting and saying, I really like Die. Solo is still the best unit overall. Um, with Die coming in somewhere between 4 and 6, depending on where you kind of go through. Really, the top three in the game right now is Solo, Erdrick, and usually Young Terry's number three. And then you kind of get around, like which has like the best convex and all that, and others. And I will say, in a lot of general, Dragon Knight Dai is ranked number four because of the pure power. I like to use. I'm still more of a fan of Zenlon myself, and Zoma has some really nice. But honestly, those units you really can't get without getting very lucky at this point. So Dragon Knight dies could be here. Now let's get back to martial arts, ma'am. Fortunately, she is pretty weak of the three. And we're just going to go to her actual kit as well. Now, since I'm a little late, so I do apologize here. And I will always say, if you want to take a look at their kits, go to the swap meetings here, and you'll always be able to find where they are. Click on their unit, and there they go. So I translated here, did not translate it back, and to be quite honest, they're a little too long. I'm still just going to go Valkyrie, Super Spell Strike, 200% physical damage, knocks him back up to 5 spaces, and occasionally lower move, which is 40%. It raises up as you increase, but the base is 40%. This is a good skill, but it is a little annoying sometimes because knocking them back is great for PvE, but for PvP, that actually could just lead you to losing points, unless if you're doing a the real time arena. That's where you'll see more martial arts maps, RTA specifically. Combat here or duel deals physical damage 300% and will raise physical boost for a turn, giving her a power up. So you'll actually be using that for the most part. And the last one here is her Bijinru or her dance, Warrior's Dance. Deals physical damage 60% to random enemies in effect 5 times. Moves up to 4 spaces and then raises the user attack for 3 turns. So, what you're usually going to be doing with her is either you're going to be pushing people away or you're going to try to get a very far away unit. One of her issues is this her move is 2. but she will get the increase of movement, I think, to 4 at the beginning for battle, um, which is huge. And what you'll do is you'll use her Bijinru or her dance to get a far enemy that you may be able to hit. Raises the attack, but the problem is she doesn't have any dodges, which can lead her to some deaths. Her perk is raise lower enemy defense by 20%, which is not really all that great. Um, and she can also, with her normal, she has when martial or physical attack within 1 to 3 range up to 4 times the battle, she will hit with duel. And duel is the one that raises her physical boost for 1 turn, which is great for her counter. Allow you to do a few other things as well. But overall, she is a bit depressing. She does get a zap and whoosh, and her evasion rate is only at the very, very top. So if you see a 5 heart ma'am, it is more powerful. It does have some unique abilities, but all in all, it is not worth the money to do so. The next one here is going to be Mage Pop. It was Archimage Pop in Japan, and personally, I think why it sounds like a demotion to be Mage Pop instead of Archimage Pop. So let's go with Archimage Pop. It's actually a very good unit. Definitely in a very, very used field right now in JP. Has some very, very interesting um, skills. The teleportation rescue is honestly partially broken. So, kind of what you do is if you could take out an important enemy that with MAM or another unit that will run up there, he can pull allies 3 up to 3 squares back and get him more back into the rest of the group to make it less likely the AI to destroy it. That in itself is a skill that isn't super powerful, but in the right minds and the right use can really manipulate the AI to do certain things and then send them back. Uh, it's just really, really useful. Yeah, it's something that might be kind of like, yeah, you're wasting a turn, but it has its uses, especially for PvE, and a unique ability like that is pretty cool. The next one here is the explosive explosion spell. Just deals major bang to all units. And then he has 2 other skills here with both Frizz and Sizz. The Frizz can occasionally stun. That's 40%. Or sorry, the Sizz can occasionally stun, not sleep, for 40%. And Frizz will deal Frizz times to 5 times to an enemy, which is nice for a multi-spell. Overall, they're actually very, very great spells with 3 different elements. That's why he's usually ranked in the high end using. And his coup de grace, which just does major spell damage, is really, really nice. We'll go more into that in his main. Let me stay here. But more importantly, let's just quickly go into his perk. He gets mixing ice and fire, which means he gets heavy frizz and crack resistance, which is really, really, really important. On top of Sizz and Zam, or sorry, Ziz and Zam, he gets half. So he has 4 resistances, which also makes him very hard to kill. He has low HP, which is his weakness. And his first awakening skill, which increases wisdom, agility, and evasion rate for the first 3 turns. And now you're starting to see how annoying Archimage Pop can be to fight against, allowing you to with their, and you're going to really have to focus in on 3 elements: whoosh, zap, and bang. Only problem with Mage is that the 2 most likely units you're going to be facing are Erdrick and Hero. And lo and behold, what skills do they have and usually use in droves? Zap and whoosh. So it is a great unit for RTA, other than the fact that the two most powerful units in the game can really hurt Mage Pop. That's the only reason why Archmage Pop isn't rated higher than he is in JP. He's still rated very, very high. Very, very good for PvE. Good for PvP, especially if you're not fighting a hero or a solo. Solo or an Erdrick. They're both heroes. Uh, on top of it, you can get the Sizz and Zam if you get him to 4 hearts, and then at that point, you know, he's turning into a mega weapon, except has a lot more utility than a mega weapon. And he also does not like ailments, so someone gets infected with an ailment, spell power for 1 turn. Or sorry, he increases power for 1 turn. On top of that, he works actually really, really well with solo because of the fact that that still counts. He still gets inflicted and then dissipates it away. So you still get that increase in power overall. Um, Overall, Archmage Pop is built really, really well. The only problem is he is weak to the two strongest units in the game, and actually is also weak to Dai himself, Swordsman Dai, because of Avant Rush B and Air Slash, because they also attack there. And as I say, Dai is in the top 4, 5, or 6, depending on how you rank them. But in JP, he's consistently 4. Not too hard to disagree. Um, so let's go there. And the other here is he does have some pretty nice immunities as well. Let's go to Dai. Dai has a massive amount. It's not all going to be here in the abilities. Some of these are also in his awakenings, which are a part. I can't show you them here. So he has focus, reduces damage by 50%. So that's the dragon aura here. Can only be used once, but it is very, very powerful. It reduces damage by 50%. Has an MP cost of 32. It's usable on himself only, but you're going, well, I'm going to be pretty screwed here. I can't attack for some strange reason, or there's this one attack that it's going to absolutely murder me. I can't get away, but with the 50%, I could decrease. Really, really useful. It's also great for the next turn afterwards too. We'll get a 1.5 increase in potency, and can actually also be used if you have a healer as well to increase the healing to kind of revamp everything. The next skill that you normally deal is the Earth Slash here, which is the Nun, which is the Dai Sword here. Deals physical damage 40% to one enemy, and lowers often, which is 60% for physical for 3 turns. This is really useful for big boss battles. This is useful for, honestly, RTA if you're kind of trying to focus down a really powerful unit quickly. And that's why he's ranked up there. Is this physical resist along with all the other just pure power that he has, and we'll just kind of go through it as well. He has his Sword of Dai Air Slash down here, just 320% physical potency to one enemy. Very large range, whoosh, just very powerful overall. And in the character builder here, he has his Break and Arrow, which is A and B here. These are zap skills. They are very powerful with the 300% potency here. First one will move up to 4 spaces here, which is B and A. I've got switched. Lowers zap resist for 3 turns, and the last one I will also lower 3 turns with just a 1. 60% chance of lowering zap resist is huge with all that damage. The initial perk here grants the user 1.5 physical potency if the user is 50% or less, and removes some status elements. Very powerful because if you have the awakening skill with the HP greater than 20%, it lowers damage received. So if you get it to 49%, and you're kind of going through this, it's hard to really one hit kill, especially when you get it to that 50%. What you really need to do is get him down below 20%. And you could still play with his HP there. And they actually went up to physical potency by 25%, 20% here, so that's even better. Makes him a great leader for the hero parties. Honestly, it's good to be the main guy that I go for is Dragon Knight Dai. The other ones, he's got great. It's crackle resist and bang resist for the top two. He is weak to Frizz and Sam. There are some very direct counters, and using that you just need to know. But that's the thing. This is one of the few times that you're not going to see that Dragon Knight Dai does not is very weak against hero on turn 3. Sorry, hero solo. Solo is one of the few characters, and really the reason why Solo is the number one character in JP is because he is such a direct counter to Dai. So if your main unit is Dai and you're facing a hero solo, you really need to take out that solo before it can use it to turn 3. Otherwise, Dai is very highly susceptible to die. Third one here is increased attack and defense power 3 turns on odd turns until turn 5. So he builds up power, and the last one is MP recovery as well. And he gets his physical power instead of a special skill, so they all get buffed. Just like Erdrick and Solo, he has his own skill tree. I'm not going to show that. That's just a little too much right now to go through. But the most important one is Swordsman Dai. Best unit in this set so far. And for the next one with X, there are some very powerful 110 in Japan, but really the huge power leap was between Solo and Dragon Knight Dai. With that, those are the two units that should focus on. And at least up to date, there hasn't been any units that are more powerful, or even kind of near as powerful. Maybe nearest may not be the closest word, but we're there. The 10 units or more in the top, trying to fight to top 10, 15, where Dai is pretty much in 5 or 6 and no lower than that. And in a lot of JP, he is ranked 4th, and it's hard to argue. It's just, as I say, Giuliante has some really unique there, and it can be just based off of power. But in all fairness, if you have the 3 heroes, Erdrick, Solo, and Dai, that's a really scary team to go against. All right. Next one is Heller Supreme Being. We don't have one to show here. Unfortunately, this is not a super wow. It's not a bad unit at all. It is basically equivalent to Archimage Pop. It's still a top tier 1 unit, but personally, I like Pop just a little bit more. But that's just me and utility. Heller Supreme Being has some really good stats along with it. So if you like him more than Mage Pop, Archmage Pop, it's just a matter of preference. They're rated very equally amongst each other, and still a good unit. But Dai is just much higher up on the scale here. The Demonic Chain increases evasion rate for 100% for 3 turns, usable only once. Sorry, that's supposed to be for himself. That's just really, really powerful. Bright Warrior spell inflicts large sizz damage to all enemies, and Super Magic Explosion deals both physical sizz damage to the purple and physical bang to orange. So it's a small to the first one, and then has the range around it. It is actually relatively cheap for doing a double elemental skill. Very useful. Has two elements. Can evade. And his first is odd turns until fifth, increase attack, agility, resistance for 3 turns. Sizz and Crackle. If his HP is below 50%, and third one, he gets 30% HP and greatly increases damage for 3 turns. And the last one, he gets HP 10% until the fifth and increased power for 3 turns. Very powerful, very expensive. If you do get him higher up there, he is a really scary unit. But I still think Archimage Pop is a little better. But all in all, still a pretty good unit if you're willing to spend into him. If you spend into him because of his ability to keep recovering HP for the first 5 turns, he starts to enter into the WoW top 10 region here. And honestly, there's only one unit that's even for Dragon Quest 10 that's within that same range. So all in all, very, very top unit, but nowhere near die. Vern, last unit here. Disappointing. Frizz, Compressed R, Climate Wall, and Kaiser Phoenix. Frizz, he does small Frizz damage at plus 800% to an enemy. He's the only unit that can kill somebody with a Frizz spell. Compressed Aura has a 60% chance to put enemy to sleep. That's kind of useful, but not as good as our Demon Sorrow when he could do damage and put enemies to sleep. Calamity Wall, heavy physical damage to all enemies, moves back up to 2 squares, and 40% chance of movement blocked. Calamity Wall is the thing that really can put a little scare into you if you need to have movement. And Kaiser Phoenix does large Frizz damage to all enemies. Is very focused on Frizz. Is a one-hit unit. Yeah, it has some good skills, but just doesn't really pop up for me. Vern does have the ability to automatically revive 100% for 99 turns. I believe this is not dispellable. I have to take a look again. I think that's a true intrinsic one, which makes him better than Phoenix. So for people who like these auto revive units, which are annoying, then it's there. I know that for the low convex, he's rated pretty highly up there, but I don't know. And you know, I know people are going to say, "Mad Archimage Pop is not as good as Vern because of the auto revive." I don't know. I'm looking for the utility instead because if I'm going to give for damage, I've got the heroes. So once again, is he a bad unit? No. And because of this auto revive with the one, but I'm not planning on going for him very hard. So that's why I'm kind of a little down on him. That's just a personal, and I'm trying to be as straight up to everybody here, especially since I'm going more in depth for the units than I normally do. Just kind of going through all of this. In as honest of a form as I can here. His third awakening, though, is pretty good with the decreased damage 20%, and he has a 2-turn barrier on his fifth one. But once again, for 99% of the people who watch me, Dai is going to be your main one. For people who are willing to spend a lot in the game, Vern can be very, very interesting because Whoosh and Zap Resistance allow you to counter Dai and allow you to counter Solo and Erdrick fairly well, which is very important if you're playing very high real-time arena. So for people who are playing at the highest echelons, you're probably spending anyways. And Vern is on your list because of his ability to basically just be nearly immune to some of the highest damage dealers in the game, and having the revive on top of it. Okay, Spear Armor Hunkel is one of the two S units that come free with the game. He comes free, and I'm just going to show you the. Yeah. We've unlocked all that when I was playing on the phone. In the second Dai events here, Chapter 2, I believe it's Chapter 2, Episode 2. I'll have a little bit more there, but it's in this range here. Very quick and easy to get Spear Armor Hunkel. It takes a lot longer to increase him, though, but as a free unit, he's okay. Obviously, though, you're going to try to get him as high as you can. Free to play users will be using Spear Hunkel a lot, and focusing on getting him up is good. He has a shield. I can actually show him here. Actually, I don't know why I hit show upgrade, but he has a shield, 200% physical damage, 40% chance of confusing. Void Flash, 320% physical whoosh damage, and a Demonized Spear, 280% physical damage to all enemies. And yes, I did get Handler recently there. Skills, it's just stats up. It's a little different than normal. He gets more powerful as he gets up. He increases spell power and resistance until third turn. And HP is 1 or less, triple your skill power recovery at the last one. So if you could get him down to near death, that is really powerful. He has a Bang and Sam resistance with the Martial Lock. So he has the ability learned here. Has Coup de Grace there. Actually, let me go quickly through the Coup de Grace. He does major martial damage to one enemy purple area, and then damage to all enemies in orange area. It's non-elemental. Doesn't cost any MP. Needs turn 3. It does decent damage. Martial is pretty important, but it can be dodged. His perks are, as I say, pretty interesting. Um, and the last one here, what is his base ability or perk? I didn't remember, didn't look. He has guts, and raising him up there, if he survives an attack at 1 HP, you do need to try to kill him because he has the ability to do a lot of damage. But all in all, it's someone that you are going to want to get as a free to play player. The last one is Mist Vern. He is not available yet. Very interesting unit. He'll be available halfway through, or probably actually in week 2.5. It has Cloak Shadows, increased physical resistance itself for 3 turns, 300% physical damage to an enemy with Death String and Decimation Field, with 40% chance to sleep or bind enemies. And he creates a Destruction Square that deals 700 damage to enemies on squares. Can be a very interesting unit for PvE and also real time arena if you need to use if you're on a lower end, because putting the destruction square on enemies and maybe creating a barrier or something, you can use it to your advantage. It is real nice that he has that ability. He has great defense and mobility, and that will increase on even turns up to 10. So it's not as good as the odd turns because usually you want that right away, but it doesn't happen here. He has Zap and Zam resistance. He can have a 40% chance to put up a 3-turn spell barrier and nullify damage once at his last one. All in all, pretty decent as well. You'll have enough time to get both of them at least up to the 4 hearts, but the 5th one might be a little bit. There's some got A units for Hadler. Him is going to be 1, and Zabera is going to be the other one. I'll talk more about them because I spent way too much time with the S units here. So I'll kind of just go through that throughout there. But they're here. You will be able to get them, and I'll go through them when their unit banners go up in live. Die events. We have 8 S units in armor, magic wand, cloak of darkness, weapon staff, die sword. A lot of them are just able to be found fairly randomly or in specific areas, but that hasn't opened yet. They are more designed for the units that are in the game. Some of them are pretty good overall. Die sword is really powerful, especially since it's a has a chance for hero sap physical and hero physical. That is the main weapon that you want to really focus on. And during the event, there will be a alchemy event where if you do it multiple times, I believe 70, and there will be no bronze, and 200, there will be no silver. So you'll only at that point get gold and platinum. And so you will be able to really fine tune a lot of these weapons if you really focus. And there are abilities that you'll be able to, and I'll talk more about that. Conqueror Sword, Magic Armor, which is from Vern. Armor Magic Spear, obviously Honel, and Mam's Gloves. Mam. These are all okay. The Magic Armor is going to be the one that you're going to focus probably the most out of these 4 here. Okay, but just not really the greatest. As I say, Cloak of Darkness is from has Miss Vern vibes here, but all in all, these are the 8 unique weapons for the second die event. We have the farmable monsters for die. So let's just go quickly through these through what we have right now. So Spear Armor Honkel is the Dark Master. So that's going to be the long battle. Oh, no, sorry, not the long battle. Sorry. It's going to be the Master of Darkness against his pupil. So student confirmation. Do a level 15 gives you the best chance of it dropping. 16 through 20, I'll go through, has 0 stamina. Miss Vern has missions and his friendship levels. I'll go through that more specifically. That one, though, is a slow burn. It will take you weeks to get his things completed on a normal basis. There will be some people that highly focus and burn through it. That will be quicker. And we don't have everything here yet. There will be things here, but you will have. We have a Dermline instead of Delmurin Island here for the C unit. The B unit, though, is not available yet. That will be the underground castle very hard. Or if it is, I haven't unlocked it yet. As I said, I'm doing this day 1 here, so it's pretty quick out here. I've still got some of the old stuff I did not do. Other than, though, for Mr. You'll be grinding these as they are at the optimal friendship level spots, and we'll kind of go through that. Farming Yunko here, there's just 20 levels total. Master's Darkness there. 16 through 20 will drop medals. The medals are going to be in the swap shop place here. Honestly, these aren't really all that bad, especially for until you get to around 18. Most of them here is you're going to just want to clear, don't have anyone KO'd, etc. With the way that we have units and with his weaknesses, it's not too hard to get at least a few. The most important one is the Rainbow Orb, but you can also get SAP books ×5 as well. So basically, every time you 3-star an event, you get to choose one of those 5 rewards. Farming Yunko is weak to Bang and Frizz. or sorry, Sis. Honestly, if you have hero and both heroes and young Terry, it is not all that hard. You can switch out if you have two of the three heroes. To be quite honest, um, you'll have a pretty easy time. Um, the plan is to let Mistburn come up first. The other monsters are around 3K. You can hit Yonko pretty sorry Mistburn pretty hard at 8.5K. Mam and Rapthorn need to be above 472. And yeah, Rapthorn is a unique unit here. I don't have him. I'm probably going to, fortunately, I'm going to have to ignore him and focus a little bit there. So you're going to have Boy Terry, and then you want the heroes to be under 470 agility. Why? Because Miss Vern is going to come down. Miss Vern is 470 agility. And then you're going to use the two heroes to actually destroy Hilnkle. And if you do that, the rest of the enemies are fairly easy. And at the very least, you should be able to defeat it within a few turns, clear within 5 turns. This one here is going to be the toughest one. But at the very least, you'll be able to clear with this strategy. And then the goal is to do it within the 5 turns. The more powerful you have your heroes, the faster it'll go. Not really all that hard beyond that. All right. I don't have the show of farming Mistburn, but there's going to be mission completions and friendship missions. So, friendship missions, I'm going to have some here. And we're going to see how much I've actually done. Nice thing here is you can see Miss Vern is 37, I believe. You will unlock these coins here, the bond decoration. So you get 4 or 6 of these to level 37, and you'll be able to trade those in for Miss Vern. And the other ones are just to do Mistborn Battle Road 7, clear 300 stages, got a Demon Hell class once, Demon World God advance once, perform Dark Robe Alchemy 100 times, is by far the most annoying one. But it will actually probably be worth your there. And perform Light Magic Wand Alchemy 100 times. Those are going to be the 2 times that you're going to really get some burn for it. But besides that, it's not too bad. As I say, it's a slow burn, but farming Mistburn, these 2 are not that bad. They're not looking for the highest one. So getting through this is actually not too bad. It's the friendship missions getting them to 37 that will take some time. I do have a little bit of man here. Get my level up. I got my first EXP Codex. Yay. What's nice though is there are some really good rewards, and getting them to 37 is going to be key here, as you can see. Importantly, for the friendship rewards here, the third one gives you the Dai orbs, which are very important. So farming monsters here. These are going to be your importance, what I would say. Fortunately, some of these are not available right now because it's going to be dropped. What I highly, highly suggest that you first focus on farming up Dark Armor Spear Yunkel. Get him as high as you can, level 15. Focus on his friendship first. And then when it is awakened with everyone else, with the next sets, you will be able to farm other monsters as well. And Varija might be the best farmed with skip tickets. He is annoying. I'll do more of an explanation there later. The drops are all done here. So I'm just going to allow people to take a click. But as I say, I highly suggest focusing here first for these top 4. And then you can do Land of Death and Devil's Gate. Devil's Gate, though, is the best one to get the 2. You're going to kind of just go through to Devil's Gate. That's later on as well. But everyone else showed you there. You're going to be farming these units anyways. Farm those, see what you get for the level 37 afterwards. We have, honestly, I really love these events. We have another large scale capture. This one is going to be right here, the large battle of the 6 legions of the Dark Lord. Just called it large scale capture because it is actually a very good direct Japanese translation. It's just a lot. It's the same thing that we've done before. The main reward here is going to be the magic armor. The Haller EX battle, whoosh, bang, and frizz attacks are best. Whoosh and bang obviously are for Hadler. Frizz you'll need a little bit for some of the other enemies. There are some specific areas you want to go through. I haven't gone through this. I don't have it set up. But when you defeat Balan, you get some HP and disable status ailments. Hyunko gives you 30% damage reduction. And Crocodile gives you 3 stages of damage buffs. Kill them in order. If you're very strong, do Crocodile first because it just adds up the damage overall. Otherwise, you can do those 3 in that order. Miss Vern is also on here. He has 100% evasion. Prepare. Make sure you have breath, spell skills, or can be able to disable it. Crocodile and Handler buffs cannot be removed. So Crocodile has the 80% damage reduction. It is pretty annoying, but if you kill him, he gives you damage buffs. Haller has increased spell power. You're gonna want to kill him absolutely first, just because he does a lot of damage. But Crocodile is going to be the next one up there for his damage buffs. I put together some members. Honestly, that is a lot of the most powerful members in the game. Some of them I don't have. I will have to replace to try to get more whoosh. I have the top units, but it's the other units that I'm going to be a little weak on. We also have Vern EX battles, not here. The HP is actually a bit over 34k. Why is it a bit over 34k? Because he revives, and he cannot be stripped. Turn 1, though, he will not do anything. Surround by 2, turn 2, and he'll use his sizzle skill. And if you surround him, his calamity wall will only hit a few characters. So that's kind of the goal. You bum rush the dude, and then you whittle him down. Let him revive, and whittle him down again. The father and son dragon battle. Weak is Frizz, Zam, and Whoosh. Requires 0 stamina. This is for icons and champ only. Don't worry if you can't beat it. It's only for the high end units. It can be done with lower units. The main units are above. If you can, the optimal is to kill the 8,537 HP die at once at turn 3. If not, you need to try and do more than 5,200 damage. The reason why I say that is to try and avoid his superpowers getting up there, because that's 20% of his HP. After that, just strip away buff and whittle Balan down. He's not bad, he's just slow. Agility tuning's below. Corvus is used to just absorb the first couple of turns of damage. Tank HP needs to have more HP than Boy Terry or Young Terry, and that's more just so that the eye goes after your tank. And if you have solo under 454, and then Young Terry having above 512, so that you can tune it correctly so that solo doesn't go first, that would be the most ideal. But once again, that's kind of the most optimal strategy overall. And it can be a little hard if your solo's very, very high powered for that one. Dice Great Adventure Party Battle. This one is just more enemies. They're not as powerful. Yunko Mam will approach first, speed up a dice, and kill Yunko Mam first. And then it'll be a 3v5 party, which will make it a little easier. Solo needs to be 551 or higher on turn 2, so that's around 500 speed. Erdrick needs to be above 511. Yunko's 501 on turn 2. And Dai needs agility 473 after adjusted. This is a massively souped up power team. If you don't have them, there are other ways to do this. Whoosh, Zap, and Sizz are the weaknesses here. They do have resist overall. Zap is by far the safest one to use. But because it's a 5-on-5, speed is the key here. And to try to take out units with Yunko and Mam being fast and approaching first, you can abuse their aggressiveness to your advantage. That's by far the best strategy for that. Finally, there are 2 battle roads, Mistburn and Yunko. Yunko's out right now. Mistburn is coming out in 2 weeks or a week and a half. A lot of them can be with the old units. You can kind of just go right here into the battle roads and have your new units right here. And you can also go with Baron and Mam as well if you haven't done those on top. Bran, I know I completed, but I don't have Dragon, and I didn't do a very good job because I ran out of time. I'm going to rerun that to get some good EXP here, and same with Mam. I did do a much better job here. I don't have nearly as much XP to go through. So I hope you guys enjoy. This is an incredibly long video. Part of it is my apologies that I haven't been able to get this done in time. I hope you guys enjoy. Any questions, please ask down below. But more importantly, I hope you guys enjoy it. And